7 Habits of Highly Effective.
Good. The 7 habits. Who can tell me habit number 1?
Be proactive.
Be proactive. What's habit number 2? Anybody?
Begin with the end in
End
mind.
in mind.
Begin with the end in mind. What's number 3?
Put first.
Put first things first. Habit number 4.
Think win-win.
Think win-win. Is that 4 or is that, wait. Oh yeah, okay. Habit number 5.
Seek first to understand, then be understood.
Good. Habit number 6.
Synergize.
Good. And habit number 7.
Sharpen the saw.
Very good, you guys. I love it. I love it. I love it. That's impressive for anybody to know all 7 of those. So good job. Okay. So we are starting Psychology of Winning today. We're kind of going to go through the introduction today. I think what we're going to do is have some of the other instructors kind of talk about this too, because I think it was really cool kind of hearing different people's perspectives. Who liked that? Who liked hearing from the different instructors and not just me and my perspective every day? Yeah. So I think, and I just texted them, but I think we're going to change it a little bit. So we only have like 4.5 weeks left of summer. So I think and there's 10 qualities of a winner in this book, which means 11 lessons. So I think what we're going to do is we'll go through like 2 chapters a week, and I'll talk about it, and then another instructor will talk about it and do the review and that kind of thing. That way you guys get multiple perspectives on this. So I think that'll be really good. We will go ahead and do stars beforehand. As far as announcements go, the only thing I really want to talk about is tonight at 5:30, Master Lappin and I are going to get on Facebook Live and just answer any questions that you guys have, talk about upcoming events and some different things like that. So if you guys have any questions, hop on there and we'll go over that with you guys then. Okay, if you are going to be on the rest of the mat chats for the remainder of summer and do not have this book, make sure you pick it up from the studio, okay? It's a short book. There's a lot. This is actually, so I listen to a lot of the audiobooks. I love audiobooks when I'm getting ready in the morning, when I'm in the car, things like that. This is one that I have probably listened to over 10 times and it never gets old. He has so many, like I said, it's short, but he says so much. Like it's like a different point through the whole book. So every time I listen to it, I hear something new or maybe something different is going on in my life. And so I hear something that's pertaining to what's going on. A lot of times, more than anything else, I'll hear something that I heard the first time, but you just kind of forget it. It's not a part of your wiring yet, your programming, because you haven't heard it enough yet. So it's good to kind of get reminded of those things. All right, so before we get started with our chapter, who has some stars to turn in? I see Ezekiel has his booklet. Ezekiel, do you have any more today?
No, ma'am.
Okay, well, good job. Let's clap for Ezekiel. All right, and Miss Madeline. Madeline, how many stars do you have? It's good to see you on here.
6.
6 stars. And which ones are they, my dear?
Hold them. I'll get it for you.
It was and
The book club sheet
in the book club sheets
and the self-discipline
and self-discipline.
and the book club sheets.
See,
Good. Good job. Let's clap for Madeline. And I did want to tell you guys one other thing too. So this is going to start next Friday, again, for the last 4 weeks of summer. What we're going to do is,
I have kindergarten.
yeah, are you starting kindergarten this year, Madeline?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Okay, so every Friday, so not starting tomorrow, but starting next Friday, we're going to do, it's kind of like a mat chat for younger students. Anyone is welcome to get on that. What we're going to do is a different instructor is going to do it each day, and they're going to read a kid's book. So we're going to grab a kid's book, different kids' books each week, and we're going to kind of talk about the lessons and stuff that are in that. But so anyone is welcome to jump on that and read a book with an instructor. And it's just going to be a quick little thing just like this one, but on Fridays from starting at 11:30. All right, who else has stars? Olivia?
I have 1 star. Self-discipline sheet.
Very good. Good job, Olivia. All right, who else has some? Who else? Miss Cassie. How many stars do you have, Cassie?
I have 1 star.
Good, and which one is it?
Book club sheet.
Book club. Good, let's clap for Cassie. All right, who else has some? I don't know if I can see. Hannah.
I have one.
Okay, and which one is it?
The character building sheet.
Is that Hannah?
Oh no, it's Anaya.
Oh, hi, Anaya. All right, good job, Anaya. Very good. Sorry, your video was off. I was confused. I thought it was you, but I wasn't sure. All right. So good. I got yours. And then Hannah Panera, you had some?
I had. Hold up. I also have a question. The self-discipline sheet, I have 4 little sections done. Do I have to fill out the whole sheet and then turn it in? Or?
So you have 4 sections of 10?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so each one of those sections counts as 1 star. So
Yes.
I'm gonna go ahead and do the 4 stars for that one. Normally you can only turn in 1 section per time you turn it in, okay? But we can
Yes.
do all 4 for today.
I also have character building sheet number 4. And the karate homework.
Very good. So you got 6?
Yes.
Perfect. Good job. Hannah. Let's clap for Hannah. Good job, my dear. Okay. Who else has some stars? Benjamin?
I turn them in on Mondays.
All right, Benjamin, I think you're frozen, but you can turn yours in. I think you're at the summer camp. So you turn yours in to Miss Dana. So Miss Dana, you can collect their stars back there and just announce it in front of all the kids that are back there, okay? But good job, Benjamin. All right, anybody else? Jonathan.
I have 1 little section on the self-discipline sheet.
Okay, good job. Let's clap for Jonathan. Good, good, good. I'm glad you're working on self-discipline. That's an important one, especially right now, being out of school and everything. Okay, any other ones? I think that was it. Going once?
Master Luton.
Yes.
Benjamin just wanted to show you his chopsticks he brought that are from Japan.
Ooh, very cool. Let's see it.
Can you see them?
I can. Yeah, that's awesome. I'm going to go ahead and spotlight your video so everyone can see this. So Benjamin brought in chopsticks from Japan since we are in Japan this week. Very nice. So you do get a star for bringing in an artifact from a country, guys. You get a star for bringing in an artifact or bringing in 10 facts. So Miss Dana will make sure you get your star for that. But those are cool. Those are very cool. Okay, let's see if I can unspotlight your video now. Cancel spotlight. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we will get started. Microsoft, I think that's right. Okay. All right. So the book that we are talking about, as you guys know, can everybody see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. Okay, let me see if I can put this here. All right. So we are reading this book, Psychology of Winning by Dennis Waitley. I already told you I love this book. It's actually, I think it might be my favorite book. I hate to say that. I don't like having favorites of things, but I think this is my favorite book. Okay, so there's a quote by Dennis Waitley, who's the author, that says, "You are either the captive or the captain of your own thoughts." What do you guys think that means? Who wants to tell me what that means to you? Someone tell me what a captive is. What does it mean if you're captive to something? Just go ahead. I can't see everybody when I'm on screen share, so unmute yourself and say it if you.
I know what it is. That means basically what you want to think about or what you choose to have in your thoughts, you choose to put that in your thoughts and in your objective at the moment.
Yeah. Okay, so if you're captive, it kind of means that you're like a prisoner, like somebody's controlling you. Now, if you're sucked in, you're in control, right? Like think of captain of a ship. They're in control of the ship, right? So
Yeah,
you are
because
either your thoughts are either controlling you or you are controlling their thoughts. Raise your hand if you want your thoughts to control you. No, so the only way to change that is to control your thoughts. And we talked about this. So this book, there's a lot of times that I'm going to reference what to say when you talk to yourself and the 7 habits, because it really does cover topics from both. But so this is covering a lot of what we talked about in what to say when you talk to yourself. If you want to be successful, you choose what you think about. You choose your thoughts. You choose, and your thoughts affect your attitude and everything afterwards and your success eventually. So we want to be the captain of our thoughts, not the captive of our thoughts. Okay, he talks about the winner's circle. And I'm just going to go ahead and read this. So Neil Armstrong's vision began as a child. Who knows who Neil Armstrong is? Someone tell me who he was.
he was the first astronaut.
Step on the moon.
He was the first man.
Step on the moon.
Man, most of you guys know he is. Good. Okay, so in an interview immediately following his historic first step on the moon, he said, "Ever since I was a little boy, I dreamed that I would do something important in aviation." Why do you think that we're talking about that right now? Why do you guys think that's so important? We just talked about how important our thoughts are. Why do you think it's important that he said that as a little kid?
Because he followed through with his dreams.
Yeah, because that was him being in control of his thoughts. He thought this as a little kid. He focused on that. He probably set goals for this. Is him visualizing his goal, right? Of doing something important in aviation. And he achieved it because that's where his thoughts were. That's where his focus was. That's what he imagined for himself and pictured for himself, and not just dreamed it, but really genuinely thought was a reality for himself. So who here wants to be a black belt, thinks it's cool to be a black belt, thinks it would be cool to be a black belt? Raise your hand. Okay, everybody who comes in for an introductory class thinks that. Most people everyone who starts karate thinks that. And that's where it's different when you go into our masters and our leadership programs, because those are students, and a lot of you guys are in those, who have really made the commitment and said, you know what, I am going to do this. So that's how Neil Armstrong was. He said, he from a young age knew that this is what he was going to do, that he didn't know specifically he was going to be the first man to walk on the moon, but he knew that he was going to do something really big in aviation, and he spent his life focused on that. And that's how you guys are. You guys know that you're going to be black belts. Not just you think it's cool to be a black belt, not just that you want to be a black belt because you do, but you know that you're going to be a black belt one day. That's why you guys are in leadership or master's training programs. Okay, each of us becomes that make-believe self that we imagined and fantasized most. So this is, piggybacking off of what they just said about Neil Armstrong. If we really, you hear a lot of people who were like, I'm a veterinarian. I dreamed I wanted to be a veterinarian since I was 5 years old, and I made it happen. And then you hear people who kind of go I was like that when I was a kid. I wanted to do different stuff every year. I wanted to be something different. I never had one. I wanted to be a veterinarian at one time. I wanted to be this at one time. I wanted to be this at one time. But when you really focus your thoughts on a goal, or you focus them on an attitude, or you focus them on whatever, that's what you're going to achieve. If you really believe that, and whatever you imagine for yourself, just like setting a goal and visualizing it, that make-believe version of ourselves is what we're going to become. And that can be negative too. If you imagine yourself as being a sad and depressed person, and you're like, you know what, if this happens to me, I'm going to be devastated. Then what's going to happen if that happens to you? You're going to be devastated. You're going to be depressed. You're going to be sad. So, we control that either way. Okay. So psychology of winning, POW. There are a lot of different other meanings of POW. And obviously we're not talking about prisoner of war or the power of women or things like that. We're talking about the psychology of winning. But that's what I usually reference this book as POW. Okay. Since we choose our attitudes, so basically ignore anything else that you've heard of the terms POW and reframe your mind into connecting POW with psychology of winning with this book. Okay. The most important single point in the chapters in this book is to remember and internalize that it makes very little difference what's actually happening, but it's how you personally take it that really counts. So we talked about this a lot in What to Say to You When You Talk to Yourself. There was my favorite section in that book is talking about this, where the external factors don't determine your outcome. So what happens to you does not determine your outcome. Like I just said, something that happens to you is not what makes you sad or what makes you mad or what makes you happy. It's how you respond to it. And I don't know who was on when we talked about that section of that book. We talked about, if it's raining outside, some people raise their hand, they love the rain. So if they saw a rainy day, they're going to get all happy. Some people don't like rainy days. So when they see a rainy day, they get sad. And again, that's how you react to it. It's just how you respond to it. Some people see a rainy day and they know that that's not going to affect their attitude and they're going to be happy or sad, vice versa, regardless of the rain. Okay. My window just moved. All right. Comparing life to a game. So I like this, and this is the biggest reason why I wanted to talk about the introduction of this book is because of this section. So think about the Super Bowl. Think about these football teams. What do they do with most of their time? Because most of their time is not playing games. What is most of their time spent doing?
Practicing, training.
Practicing, training, preparing for the game. So that's what most of us do in real life. We treat most of our days like they're practices. But in reality, when it comes to our life, every day is the game. There are no timeouts. There are no substitutions. The clock is always running. There's no, the choices you make today impact your life, right? So it's not like I'm at a practice. Today's a practice day and it's Saturday is the important day of my life. So I could slack off today. I can slack off tomorrow. I can not exercise. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good example of this. Okay, so if I want to be able to make it through my black belt test, there's a lot of people testing this Saturday. So if they were treating all of their workouts like this is a practice, I can slack off. I don't have to exercise. When it was not days they were in class, maybe they didn't exercise. How do you think they're going to do when it is the actual test? Bad. So we have to treat every day like it's game day. Today impacts the rest of your life. Today, literally today, this Thursday, July 9th is going to impact the rest of your day, or it can if you let it. So today is game day and every day is game day. The attitude that you have, what you do, your priorities, how you treat other people, the way you prioritize your relationships and the way you, what you accomplish at work or with your family or cleaning and all of those things, it's game day. If you treat it every day like game day when it comes to cleaning your room's always clean, right? Now, if every day you kind of slacked off because the rule is your room has to be clean Saturday before you can go play with your friends and I only clean my room on Saturday, then what I'm doing is I'm treating the other days like practices and only Saturday like game day. And in order to be successful, we want to treat every day like game day. And that goes for every different area of your life. Okay, he talks about there are 3 different types of people, and it kind of goes with the whole game day thing. One, there are the spectators. So this is the majority who for the fear of being rejected, ridiculed, hurt, or defeated, they sit outside of the arena. So spectators, think about it. Well, this has a soccer game on there, but so at a soccer game, there's the spectators, right? But in real life, this is the same thing. They don't choose to get involved and make a difference because they're scared. They have fears. All right, they prefer not to make waves or get involved and would rather watch it happen on television. Most of all, the spectators in life fear winning. After all, winning carries the burden of responsibility and for setting a good example, and that's too much of an effort for most. Black belts are not spectators, and you guys as martial artists are not spectators. You guys are on the mats, you're training, and part of what we do as martial artists, Miss Maya commented on something yesterday. She posted a curriculum video, and commented on it and said, thank you for being so proactive, because no one asked her to post that video, but she did it. She went out of her way. She posted it knowing that it would help people, right? And her response, I don't remember exactly what her response was, but it was basically saying, that's what we do as martial artists. We serve and we help other people. So we're not spectators. Okay, then there are the losers. So next, there is another large mass of humanity called the losers. By losers, we do not refer to millions of hungry. So basically, we're not referring to the people who have some kind of disadvantage or handicap, maybe someone who's starving, someone who's homeless. Those are not the losers. That's not what we're saying. We're saying it's the people who make bad choices, who choose not to do the right thing, who choose to drink or do drugs or to skip school or to not try, right? There's people who come to karate class and they just don't try. And so they leave class and they didn't learn a single thing. They didn't sweat a single drop. And there's nothing we as instructors, it's the most infuriating thing as an instructor, because there's nothing you can do to change that. Because if they're being a loser, and he uses that term a lot, and I hate saying it. I don't like, it's hard for me to, like, when I talk about this, to refer to people as losers. And there is a negative connotation with that word, but that's what we're talking about here. All right, the losers we are speaking of are the people who in our abundant society here in this country who never win. For they would rather look like, dress like, have fun like, have a house like, act like, or be somebody else, right? Okay, you can always spot losers by the way they envy or criticize others. After all, misery loves company. Another big thing that he says in here with this one is losers blame other people. They don't there's so many, and every chapter will reference the winners, the losers, the spectators. Okay, and then so the third one is the winners. And so that's who we are as martial artists. That's who all of you guys are. And sometimes we need little reminders of that too, and we can always be better, right? Okay, so then there are the winners. These are the few who in a very natural, free-flowing way seem to get what they want from life. They put themselves together across the board, at work, at home, in the community, and in society. And I want to pause for a second there, because that's what we do as martial artists, right? By the time we get our black belts, we have good grades. We have responsibility. We have good relationships with our parents and with our siblings and with our friends. We are doing our chores. We are serving the community. So a lot of different things there. All right. They set and achieve goals which benefit themselves and others. The term winning may sound phony to you, too materialistic, too full of A's or luck or odds or muscle-bound athletes. True winning, however, is no more than one's own personal pursuit of individual excellence. So by winning, he's not saying you won the trophy, you won first place, you won the medal, you got straight A's, you had the best sidekick in class and got a high five. What he's saying is you are doing your best, your version of excellence. You are doing the best you can academically. You are making the best choices possible with your relationships, different things like that. All right, you don't have to get lucky to win at life, nor do you have to knock other people down to gain at the expense of others. This is a big one. Everybody knows somebody, I'm sure you do, who constantly is talking bad about other people, or you see them in person putting other people down to make themselves feel better. Who's ever seen somebody do that? Raise your hand if you've seen somebody put other people down to make themselves feel like they're winning. They're not winning. They're one of the losers. They feel like they have to put other people down in order to be their best, and that's not true. All right, winning is taking the talent or potential you were born with and have since developed, and using it towards a goal or purpose that makes you happy. All right. So he talks about the 5 steps that control our success or failures. And it is our programming that sets up our beliefs and the chain of reaction begins. So 1, programming creates beliefs. Beliefs create attitudes. Attitudes create feelings. Feelings create actions. Actions create results. Does this sound familiar to you guys? Raise your hand if this sounds familiar. When did we talk about this? Who remembers? What book?
What to say when we talk to ourselves?
Yeah, this was the focus of what you say when you talk to yourself. We started talking about the programming. Then we started talking about the beliefs. Now we started talking about the attitudes. And then we put it all together into this sequence. And success is different for everybody. Success can mean running a happy household. Success can mean being healthy. Success can mean financial success. Whatever success is for you, and usually it's a combination of everything. But whatever success is to you, you have to start at the programming and then build on all of these steps to achieve success in that area. Okay, so I do have a homework assignment for our introduction chapter. So everyone thinks about winners differently in the game of life. I want you to think about one person that you would put on a pedestal of being a winner. So everybody think about it. You guys can write this down right now. It's going to take you like 2 minutes to do this. Write down one person that you would consider a winner. Now, I want you to also say what about that person stands out in your mind and makes you think of them as a winner. So maybe a winner to you is your, probably for a lot of you guys, you have an instructor that you think of as a winner. Somebody's unmuted. Please check to make sure you guys are muted. Luca, I'm muting you, bud. Okay, so think of one person that you would consider a winner. Write it down. And then I want you to write down why you think of them as a winner. Okay, so that's a first step. Any questions about that first step? Easy peasy, right? Okay, now I want you to go ask somebody. So you can ask your parent, you can ask your child, you can ask a friend, you can ask anybody. When you think of a winner, who comes to mind and why? So ask them that same question and get their response. And I want you to write that down. On Monday during Mat Chat, the first thing that we're going to do is discuss this assignment. So I want everyone to have done this. This is literally going to take you 2 minutes, especially if you're in a room with someone right now. Ask that person the question and ask yourself that question. That writing it yourself is going to take 30 seconds. Asking somebody else is going to take a minute. So I think everyone can raise your hand if you're going to do this over the weekend. Raise your hand if you're going to be really proactive and you're going to do this within the next 30 minutes. Good, good. Okay, so we're going to discuss this on Monday. So ask yourself who you consider a winner and why. Ask somebody else who they consider a winner and why, and write it down. Everyone who does it will get a star. If you don't have it done on Monday, you're still going to do it on Monday and you're not going to get a star for it. So make sure you have it done. Okay. Any questions about that assignment? No? Good. Easy peasy. Okay. So last thing I want to talk about before we go today are some definitions. So in this book, as we go through each of the qualities, there's a page in this book. You guys have probably seen it if you've started looking through it. There's a page at the beginning of each chapter. So the first one is positive self-awareness. And it's going to have an antonym, a synonym, the loser self-talk, winner self-talk, and a proverb. So I kind of want to go over these definitions before you guys start reading into this book. An antonym is a word meaning the opposite to another. So if the word is fast, antonym would be slow. A synonym is basically a word with the same meaning or a very similar meaning. So for the example here is if it was shut, a synonym would be to close. Okay, loser's self-talk is something that someone would say, act, or a way someone would speak, act, or behave if they were not a winner. Okay, winner's self-talk is basically what to say when you talk to yourself, right? The way that we want to talk to ourselves, the way that most of us do, and the way that all of us sometimes need to be reminded to do. Okay, and then a proverb is a short, well-known saying containing a wise thought. So haste makes waste. Like any of those fun, a lot of instructors use that when they teach, right? If you're looking good, you're doing good, and different things like that. Those are all proverbs. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and leave you guys with that. Please go ahead and read over the first quality. It's literally like 5 pages, you guys. Positive self-awareness is what we're going to talk about on Tuesday. Monday will be a review of this introduction. So I will see everyone on Monday. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I can't wait to hear what you guys consider winners and who you guys consider winners. So if anyone has any questions, I'll hang out for 1 minute. And otherwise, I'll see you guys on Facebook Live tonight at 5:30. Bye, everybody.
My mom, she has a